this is our college options and College Credit Plus night. And basically what we're going to talk about tonight is an overview of the College Credit Plus program, just kind of how it works overall. Everybody should have received on their way in this kind of pink or salmon colored handout. We try to say one per family or one per student. And we'll go through the information in this packet tonight as well as some other need-to-know information pieces. Once we conclude here, we have representatives from 4 institutions joining us tonight. Cuyahoga Community College, Cleveland State University, the University of Akron, and as well as the Kent State Jaga campus. We'll have folks upstairs. So after we cover kind of the overview of everything, when you have those specific questions about admissions requirements, timelines, scheduling, course selection, some of those specific details, we're going to send you upstairs so those folks can kind of help you with those questions that pertain to you specifically. Okay? So again, we're going to provide information about choices related to the transition to college and careers. We're going to talk about specific criteria for College Credit Plus, as well as our partnership with the University of Akron, and recently our partnership with the Cuyahoga Community College in terms of offering in-house classes here at the high school. We'll talk also kind of to consider about the AP or Advanced Placement Program, as that's a big part of deciding whether the College Credit Plus, CCP for short, or the AP track, which one is best for you. So if everybody can go ahead, and we're going to kind of go along here on this form and just kind of talk about the student guide, okay? So deciding to participate is a big part, obviously, of why you're here. For many of you, some of you have done the program or maybe had siblings who've been in the program, but by and large, we're trying to present information to all of you about, is this the right choice for you, okay? So for future plannings, or excuse me, future planning, this can assist you in making future education and career decisions, okay? You're high school students now, but can this program provide you the introduction to the college environment and college education that I know, statistically speaking, about 93% of our students are striving for, okay? Number 2, and I'm kind of going down, so just kind of bear with me here, high school graduation. Regardless of whether you choose to be a full-time CCP student or part-time, or you're taking a class, you have to make sure that you're still meeting all of your high school graduation requirements. This is what's called a dual enrollment program, which means the credit earned through the CCP program at your colleges also constitutes high school credit, but you also need to make sure that you're meeting what the state views as state-required coursework, okay? Scheduling. This is a big question we get. Excuse me. So scheduling, how do I schedule classes? So being that we're in the throngs of scheduling currently, what we tell all students, and I'm sure you've realized with the timeline, is that what we ask is that you fill out a full high school schedule this week, okay? Or rather, your schedules were due last week. For you middle school folks, I know schedule sheets are due, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. You're going to schedule a full high school boat of classes, okay? Once you go through the college process, whatever institution you choose to attend, okay, you're going to select the courses you want to take there, and then we retroactively will go in and update or kind of modify your schedule as needed. So a big question we get is, well, it's too late because I've already scheduled all my high school classes. That's what we want you to do to have that safety net. Moving forward, you will have the opportunity to adjust that schedule once you register for your college courses. Okay, you're going to be doing college level work. Okay, if this is a first time for you in terms of going and doing college level classes or stepping foot on a college campus or even taking our in-house classes, there's a certain higher expectation for your time and your effort in a certain elevated sense of thinking. So everybody needs to be aware of that. Number 5, transportation. Okay, this is a question we get often. Just to tell you flat out, we do not provide transportation to or from institutions for College Credit Plus. So if you are a student who has a license and access to a vehicle, great. You're going to have to be able to take yourself to and from that campus. If you're a younger student or maybe you don't have a license or access to a car, that's a logistical challenge you're going to have to work out. Okay? So kind of a basic principle, but something that is very important in terms of making a decision if this is right for me. Do I have the means to get myself to and from where I need to be? Extracurricular activities. Any student in the CCP program who participates in extracurriculars or is eligible to participate in sports, clubs, musical, any events we have here at school, certainly does not disqualify you in any way. You're still our student. What you have to think about is if you're talking about taking classes at a college, the time commitment, right? Because many of you will know if I play a sport and let's say I have practice at 3 o'clock, if I have a class that starts at 2 o'clock at, let's say, Cuyahoga Community College out in Parma, how am I going to have that class if it's an hour and drive back and be on time? Okay? So you really need to think about what you want your schedule to be like, because how you modify or how you build that schedule can really affect what you're able to do here at the school just based on a time, from a time standpoint. Potential financial obligation. The reality with these College Credit Plus courses is if a student does fail, or if you fail a College Credit Plus course, you may be financially liable for that class. Those prices for classes per credit hour can vary from school to school. Obviously, nobody goes into this thinking that they're going to fail a course. I hope if that's something you're thinking about, really give this some thought. But you do need to know, and students, I mean, at this point in your lives, I know if I was 14 or 15, $300 might as well have been $1 million. Okay, so think about if this is something where you feel that maybe I can't do the coursework or maybe I'll be in over my head. There's a failing grade, you might be financially liable and receive a bill that is for you to take care of. All right, so we're on the second page here. Program advantages, kind of just giving a brief overview of some benefits and maybe risks. We've talked about one already, but you have the opportunity to take classes that might not be offered at the high school. Okay, many students here in Cuyahoga County, right, we're a public high school, we're taking classes and we say, man, I'd love to take like a course that I can't take here, you know, like a African literature course, or I want to take something about the Italian Renaissance, but we don't offer it at the high school. Well, that's a great opportunity to look at a college and see what courses do you have that really match my interests. You're doing college level work and you get kind of a taste, I guess, of the academic aspects of college before you enroll full time. You know, a student who's seasoned in terms of has done a College Credit Plus program and taken college coursework, you know, after high school graduation, they step foot on that college campus. They probably have a little bit more confidence or a little bit more knowledge about what's expected in a college class than, let's say, a student who's only taken courses at their high school. We kind of talked again about courses that challenge you, and we also talked about the reality, obviously, is that these courses constitute both high school and college credit. So students leaving here with these College Credit Plus courses under your belt, from a state standpoint, any state institution by law is required to take that credit. And from a financial perspective, obviously, someone who comes in with 30 or 40 credits, just to give an example, has cut a significant chunk out of what it would be if you were going a traditional 4-year route upon high school graduation. Some of the risks, we talked again about reduced opportunities for time to participate in high school activities, so that's something you have to plan for. Grades that you receive in these classes affect your GPA at the high school level, and that can be both obviously positive and negative. You know, every course at a college will have an add drop date where a student could drop a class if they chose to, but you know, this isn't just I want to try this class and if I don't like it, I'll just kind of have it removed from my schedule. Because that's a common misbelief about College Credit Plus, as well, it's a college class, it's not really a high school class. If I don't do well, it just becomes non-existent and we wipe it off. No, that course is part of your academic record and is factored into your grade point average. Increased time for travel, we talked a little bit about that from the post-secondary institutions. I would reiterate, you know, we have students who take classes at the Tri-C Parma campus. We have students at Cleveland State, University of Akron. So for those of you parents who are familiar with the commute downtown in the morning or even coming home in the afternoon, or the parking situation or the traffic, you know, some of these students, if you're an inexperienced driver or you know, being in that type of situation makes you nervous going downtown. These are things to think about, okay? It's great to look at classes and what course offerings there are, but the reality is, like we've said, you have to get yourself to and from these places each and every day that you have class. Scope and content may differ from high school courses, okay? A good example might be an American government class at Cleveland State or Kent State will probably differ a little bit or could be significantly from the government curriculum we have here at the high school. You factor in, end of course exams or state exams you have to take, you still are responsible for understanding what's expected of you in the criteria. So even though you're taking a government class, and absolutely there's going to be overlap and the information is going to kind of be parallel, but you need to make sure that you're learning and knowing what you need to know. So even though you might take a course at the college, there's still that relationship between that course and the course at the high school in our curriculum. There's no guarantee you'll get the courses that you want. I know that's kind of put bluntly, but the reality being, if you've ever scheduled college classes before, sometimes these courses might fill up. Sometimes these courses might be offered at times that are not convenient for you. So you might really want to take a class and find out that it's only offered, let's say at 6 o'clock p.m., once a week from 6 to 8:30 or something like that. So the scheduling piece becomes important. Now, like many schools have very flexible, and you can certainly find classes that are offered at different times during the day, but you need to be prepared for the fact that you might have to really do some decision making or deciding on one thing or another if you really want to take a class and it's not offered exactly when you would like it to be. Okay, we talked about number 6. If you fail or withdraw from a college course, it may affect you financially, but it also will affect your credits needed to graduate. Let's go with the example we just talked about with the American government. If you fail an American government course at a college, or you withdraw or drop from an American government course at a college, that course is going to have to be made up somewhere. Okay, that's a state graduation requirement for public schools in the state of Ohio. So you need to make sure the decisions you're making and the coursework, that you take is kind of mirroring what you need to do. There are elective courses, and one of the advantages would be that you, again, have a wide variety of choices. But you have to make sure that you're following your core and you're doing exactly what you need to do so you can cross that stage, okay, in that senior year. Okay. So going back to the top of the page here. So the big question, and this kind of ties in with the college representatives, so what are the steps to follow, okay? So if you're interested in doing this program, the first step is obviously coming to this meeting and getting kind of the overview of College Credit Plus and how it works, okay? We always ask that a student comes with a parent because this is a family discussion, okay? These are decisions that are important. They impact your future, okay? Collegiately, high school, academically, you guys need to make sure that we're not just jumping on a whim and saying this is what I want to do without really knowing, well, what's the benefits? What are the risks? What do I need to think about? Is this right for me? What school do I want to choose? So these are family discussions that I would say, even after our time here tonight, go home and take some time to sit down and really discuss if this is something that interests you or suits you and matches your academic goals and your academic aspirations, okay? You need to notify the district by your intent to participate in this program by April 1st of this year, okay? We will go on, I'll talk about that on the next page, but that's just kind of an overview. You have a window of time here between now, February 4th and that April 1st deadline to determine if, yes, this is what I want to do. You want to talk with your counselor, okay? Whether it's myself, whether it's Mrs. Owens or Mrs. Baislock or Mrs. Thrasher. You want to make sure your counselor is aware of what your plans are, okay? Colleges, the institutions do things a little bit differently. Cuyahoga Community College, for example, requires us as counselors to fill out and approve the coursework you choose to take. So before you can ever schedule anything at Cuyahoga Community College, you have to come to your counselor and say, okay, here's the courses I plan to take, and we, in turn, go online and enroll you in those courses, okay? On the flip side of that, other schools, like a Cleveland State, at least as of now, and I would talk to the folks up there today, and Kent State, do not ask for counselor approval for coursework. So you, as the high school student, need to know and take the initiative to say, okay, I'm looking at what coursework I want to take at the college. Is this correct for me? I should sit with my counselor. Does this class qualify for a high school requirement? Am I taking too many classes? Am I taking too little? How does this affect my high school schedule? Okay? A big one for high school scheduling might be courses like band or choir, courses that are typically offered only once during the day can be tricky if you're trying to schedule college classes, but you have to be back here in the smack dab middle of the day for band rehearsal or marching in the fall. So for those of you who know how that works, these are things to be aware of, okay? So talk to your counselors before you decide to sign off on this form. You want to make sure, again, you know what you're getting yourself into. You want to meet with the post-secondary institution staff. This is a great opportunity. We've kind of done a 2-for-1 for you tonight, so you can go upstairs and talk to those folks. You know, we do encourage, if you can, and not necessarily tonight, but to bring your transcript or call and look through your transcript and see that you make sure, okay, here's what I have so far. What do I have left? You know, the thing about this room is we have students who are not even in the high school yet, technically, and are looking at 4 years of coursework, okay? That's going to differ a lot from a student who's, let's say, is going into their junior or senior year in terms of what you've already done, what you need to do in terms of your graduation requirements, and then on top of that, what you would like to do. You know, what do you plan for? What do you see yourself following in terms of a pathway? Excuse me. You want to verify the number of high school credits that you get from post-secondary institutions. I can tell you that a semester course at the college level, we call it the 3-4-5 rule, okay? So if you take a college course that is 3 credit hours, 4 credit hours, or 5 credit hours, that is equal to 1 high school credit, okay? I'm going to say that again. 3 credits, 4 credits, 5 credits at the college level are equal to 1 high school credit, okay? So if you look at your high school schedule, those of you who are high school students, you know that we are a semester school, and each semester a half a credit is earned for each class, even if it's a year-long class. The College Credit Plus program allows you to do a full credit, or rather what would qualify as a full high school credit, in 1 semester, okay? So you're basically earning double the credit in a college semester from a high school standpoint than you would earn taking one of our courses here, okay? And obviously we can all do the math and say, okay, well that means I can probably get twice as many credits done in a year as a high school student. I can maybe meet all my graduation requirements ahead of time, and that's true. But on the flip side of that coin, you really need to think about, what does that look like for me? Do I want to do that? Do I want to get high school done early and go on and do something else? Do I want to do half-time or part-time? Do I want to look at getting specific courses out of the way at the college level, if I get an entry-level English done, and if I get a natural science done, when I go to, let's just say, I go to Bowling Green next year, will those courses transfer, and will that help me? That's a decision and a question you have to answer for yourself. Withdrawing from the program, or withdrawing from term, we talked about this. If you go down to the bottom here, and I did mention, these steps are repeated each semester. I'm sorry, I want to go back. So from a college standpoint, you have to pick classes each semester from the college calendar, okay? So the common mistake students make is you'll register, let's say you're doing fall classes next year, and you register in March of April of this spring, which is around the timeline for college registration for your fall courses, okay? August rolls around and you're starting and you're getting into your college classes. The scheduling for the spring semester will likely start in October into November. And oftentimes a common mistake that students will make is they either forget or they don't realize the turnaround, and then they're thinking to themselves as the holidays approach, oh, I should really think about what I want to take in the spring. You have probably already missed that window. You'll get college reminders from the folks on the college end, but it is your responsibility to make sure, look, I'm planning out my semesters. I know when my registration windows are. I have the coursework I want to take, and I have an appointment with an advisor, so I know I'm doing things right. Okay? Withdraw. If you decide that you no longer want to participate in a class or take a class, and we talked about this earlier, but you have to fill out a withdrawal form. Typically, a withdrawal form will start from the college, okay? You bring that form to your high school counselor to officially sign off on that drop, and then we have to determine, again, what course of action do we take? Is there time to add a semester class at the high school, or do you simply cut your losses in that course, withdraw, and you look to take something else in a future semester, okay? Additional resources on our website. We have kind of a screenshot here. This, on our counseling website, if you go to the high school main page, you go to the school counseling tab, and you go to counseling news and resources. We have here, well, eventually, as of this week, it will be the new video that Miles Rapkin, our technology coordinator, is filming right now. This video will be there. If you forget things, this is a lot of information to cram into one session. We know that. There's also links to the College Credit Plus overview, and these are all things right from Ohio Department of Education, okay? So if you're wondering exactly how this program works, and I'm talking about a lot of different things, and I'm one person, go on these links. We have information about courses, grade weighting, how withdrawal work, all of those state good pieces of information that you need to know. Please go on and check out that website, or websites, excuse me. All right, so if everybody can please go with me and turn to the final page of this document. Now, pardon, this is the same piece of paper on this slideshow, but it's a slightly different color, so it threw me off a little bit. But the last page of this student guide is your College Credit Plus intent to participate. So, if you decide ultimately that this is the program for you and you're going to move forward, you're simply going to detach this from your packet. You're going to fill it out, very simple, sign, and you want to hand this in or turn this into the high school guidance office, or you can turn it into your middle school counselor if you're a middle school student currently, no later than April 1st of 2019. Okay? I will say this, and this is a common question I get. If I turn this form in and I decide ultimately I don't want to do the program, is there any type of penalty? No, there is not. Ultimately, what this form basically does is gives you the green light from our perspective as the home district to start your process with that institution, with the application process of where you choose to go. Okay? Now, if after you apply and you pick classes, could that complicate things scheduling-wise or otherwise? Yes. But simply turning in this form doesn't bond you to anything. It's kind of a, we need this for you to play, but if you don't choose to play, that's okay. It happens. People turn this in. We change our minds. You know, we think about it over a month or two, and maybe it sounded like a great idea for us in the first place, but now we're having second thoughts, or now there's concerns about scheduling or athletics or whatever it might be. So please don't feel that if you turn this in, there's some type of binding contract. This merely gives you the ability to take that next step. Okay? All right. A couple other slides to go through here, and then we're going to get you upstairs. I know we're covering a lot here. So as of last year, we started a partnership with the University of Akron. Okay? University of Akron has joined with us to offer an in-house in this building. That's what in-house means. College Composition 1 and College Composition 2. Those are college English courses. Okay? These are offered at the high school. They follow the same principles as the College Credit Plus program, free of tuition. Okay? Costs covered by the district. They're transferable to all Ohio State colleges and universities. Okay? So just because you take this course through the University of Akron does not mean you must go to the University of Akron or that the credit will only transfer to the University of Akron. These are dual credit courses that were transferable to state institutions, okay? Now, not getting into this too much, state institutions, for those of you who are students in the 8th grade or maybe you're not so sure, state institutions are different from private schools, okay, or private institutions. So you need to make sure or be careful. If you're looking at private schools, for those of you who are maybe going into your senior year, a private school might be like a Baldwin Wallace or a Mount Union or a John Carroll, just to name a few local schools. They are not obligated to follow any state laws in terms of the College Credit Plus program because they're privately run. Okay? For the University of Akron, you have to have a qualifying ACT or SAT score, and you have to be admitted as an Akron student. Okay? So you're following the same admission process that any student, high school senior, is following. Okay? And again, I have a lovely gentleman upstairs, Mr. Greg Landis, who will walk you through that for those of you who are interested. This next upcoming year, we have also developed a partnership with Cuyahoga Community College. As of next school year, excuse me, we are adding college algebra and calculus 3. These are two math classes that go above and beyond our calculus courses, our AP calculus courses, and possibly, although it's not quite final yet, offering an organic chemistry course, which from a college level is a very challenging class that we think, kind of listening to our students and talking with the folks at Cuyahoga Community College, are 3 courses in particular we feel are going to be highly beneficial for students. Again, these are going to be in-house, okay, courses taught in the building, and not to be too redundant, following the same guidelines as free of tuition, okay? These are fully transferable to any Ohio State institutions. And again, you must have a qualifying ACT or SAT or placement test score and complete the process for admission. Okay, and again, Megan Claycomb is our representative upstairs from Tri-C. If you folks are interested in this or want to know more, she can kind of give you those specific details. You know, in light of all the College Credit Plus talk, we also want to kind of just reiterate about the AP program, okay? AP courses are kind of reflective of a standardized exam, okay? AP is a national model. It's a national system where students can take advanced placement courses here at the high school, and if they get a high enough or a qualifying score on the AP exam at the end of that school year, that's transferable college credit. So the CCP program and AP, you're kind of at the same end game where you're hoping to accrue that college credit. The routes you take are a bit different, okay? We have here at the high school, and this is always, in a good way, always changing. We're always adding, we're always looking in terms of how many AP courses we have. When I started here about 6 years ago, I think we maybe had 19 or 20. Currently, we have 28 advanced placement courses. Courses we added this year are AP Computer Science Principles, AP Seminar, and AP Calculus BCA. And much of this is from community input and parents and folks telling us, you know, our students want more diversity in the AP curriculum, and we listened. So not to discount, or rather this is not College Credit Plus versus AP as much as it is looking at both perspectives and seeing what is good for me. Is the AP track still something I'm interested in? And also the AP Capstone Diploma with the additions of our AP Seminar and AP Research courses within our English department. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody here. Before we get started, kind of in an orderly fashion, okay? Everybody, please make sure, if you didn't already receive one, the packet, we have them outside. Up on the second level, so before, if you see the doors leading to the parking lot, if you look down the main hallway, we have tables set up with our college representatives, okay? So for those of you, it's certainly not a requirement, but if you want to talk to these folks about what their institution can offer you, please head up there. Again, that's Cuyahoga Community College, Cleveland State University, Kent State Geauga campus, and the University of Akron.